Knowing when you ovulate is not just a skill required for women trying to conceive. It can be equally as important for those trying to avoid pregnancy and for general cycle awareness. In this video, we're going to look at the top 5 most accurate ways to track and predict ovulation, how they work, and some surprising pros and cons of each method so that you can make an informed decision on which method or combination of methods may work best for you and your lifestyle. I'm Maryanne Loving, Doctor of Chinese Medicine, and you're watching Loving Your Health, where we chat all things women's health, hormones, fertility, and menopause. So let's get started. Ovulation is the pinnacle event in the menstrual cycle. It is the connection between the follicular phase and the luteal phase. It regulates the cycle length, is the catalyst for progesterone production, and of course is critical for conception and pregnancy. However, many women don't know exactly when they ovulate, and this can become an issue when trying to conceive or alternatively when avoiding pregnancy. So let's look at the most accurate options for tracking and predicting ovulation that are current at the time of publishing this video. Tracking cervical mucus. Around ovulation, cervical mucus becomes more abundant, clear, slippery, and stretchy, kind of like the consistency of raw egg whites. This fertile mucus keeps the sperm alive and facilitates its transport into the uterus, making it easier for sperm to reach the egg and increases our chances of conception. By observing these changes in cervical mucus, women can identify their most fertile days. Pros. It's the easiest, cheapest, and natural way to track your fertility. In fact, in my opinion, it's also the most accurate. However, that may be debatable. Once you start to notice the ebb and flow of your fertile mucus, you can easily track your cycle, predict ovulation, and your period fairly accurately. Cons. Although it is a good method for predicting ovulation for some women, it's not always 100% accurate. Once your fertile mucus dries up, this generally means you ovulated the day before. So knowing the signs in the lead up to ovulation is key with this method. In some women, signs of fertile mucus are not clear enough to predict ovulation. If you would like to know more about tracking fertile mucus, you can visit my video here. Period tracking apps. Various smartphone apps are available to help track menstrual cycles and predict ovulation. Generally, the user inputs data such as menstrual cycle length, basal body temperature, cervical mucus observations, and ovulation predictor kit results. The app then calculates the estimated ovulation date and fertile window based on this information. Fertility apps can be convenient for tracking ovulation and identifying patterns in your menstrual cycle over a period of time. Pros. These apps are a good tool to track your cycle and to keep all of your information digitally in the one place. And I generally recommend most women trying to conceive to have an app for tracking purposes alongside tracking their cervical mucus. They are also generally free depending on which app you use. Cons. This is generally not a reliable or accurate way to predict ovulation for 2 main reasons. Firstly, it relies on the user inputting data, which human error can easily occur. Secondly, and most importantly, these apps base their predictions on averages using past menstrual cycles. So if your cycle varies in length on a monthly basis, or you forget to track in your app, you'll most likely not predict ovulation accurately. BBT Charting. This method involves measuring your basal body temperature every morning before getting out of bed. A woman's basal body temperature slightly increases after ovulation when progesterone rises. By tracking this temperature rise over several cycles, you can predict when ovulation is likely to occur. A BBT chart typically shows a slight dip in temperature just before ovulation, followed by a rise after ovulation. Specialized basal body temperature thermometers are available for more accurate readings. Pros. There are many positives to BBT charting that go way beyond predicting ovulation. A good health practitioner can see hormonal imbalances and even thyroid issues by looking at BBT charts, especially if tracked accurately over several months. There are free apps which can be used to track them, and your only expense would be to purchase a thermometer. Otherwise, this is a fairly inexpensive method of tracking ovulation. Cons. Some people feel that this method is fairly labor intensive, as you have to take your temperature and input data daily. The information is only as good as the data collected, and in some cases, temperatures can be affected by sleeping patterns and other lifestyle factors. Also, BBT charting only tells us once you have actually ovulated, so when the shop is shut, so to speak. and the charts themselves can be fairly hard to read if you're not trained appropriately. Next, we're going to look at ovulation predictor kits and digital fertility trackers to see how accurate and worthwhile they are for predicting ovulation. If you're getting value from this content, please consider hitting the like button, which helps drive traffic to this content and supports the channel. Please feel free to comment below if you have any questions at all about ovulation tracking or women's health in general. Ovulation predictor kits, or OPKs. These kits detect the surge in luteinizing hormone that occurs approximately 24 to 36 hours before ovulation. Similar to pregnancy tests, OPKs use urine samples to detect the surge in luteinizing hormone. Once a positive result is obtained, ovulation typically occurs within the next day or two. OPKs can be helpful for pinpointing the most fertile days within a menstrual cycle. For the most accurate results, it is recommended to test in the morning using your second bathroom trip. Pros. OPKs can be good for those who are not confident in tracking their cervical mucus or feel they need a little more confidence in tracking ovulation alongside other methods. Cons. These test kits can be expensive and are not always accurate. They only predict the surge in luteinizing hormone, not actual ovulation. Luteinizing hormone doesn't just switch on and stay on. It generally surges on and off like a beacon in the days leading up to ovulation, which can sometimes cause confusing results depending on what time you test. Also, in some women, luteinizing hormone can surge and stop multiple times before ovulation occurs, especially for women suffering with PCOS. Digital fertility trackers. Digital fertility trackers are a relatively new product on the market. They use daily urine samples to test 3 different hormones: estrogen, luteinizing hormone, and progesterone. This can predict your fertile window more accurately than OPKs that just test luteinizing hormone by itself. They often come with smartphone apps and/or software that syncs with your device to easily track and predict ovulation. These trackers use algorithms and artificial intelligence to interpret hormone levels and provide fertility predictions. Pros. Digital fertility trackers may help users predict their fertile window more accurately and easily, as it tests for the 3 hormones rather than just one. It's great for people who need this level of information and who may be struggling to predict ovulation using other methods. Cons. Testing urine daily for some people may be a little labor intensive. Also, the upfront and ongoing costs of these digital trackers may be an issue for some people. They are definitely not cheap. And to be honest, I'm not sure that the expense is worth it, considering that cervical mucus tracking is free and, if done correctly for some people, can be just as accurate. If you are having difficulty tracking or predicting ovulation, or just not getting the results that you need, speaking with an informed women's health practitioner may help you further in your fertility journey. Now that you are up to speed on the most common and accurate ways to track ovulation, I wonder which method would work best for you. Or do you already have experience using some of these methods? I'd be really interested in hearing any experiences that you wish to share in the comments below. And if you would like further in-depth information on ovulation, please check out my video to follow. Thanks for watching.